Swedes are stocking up their storage with all the essentials. Danes and Norwegians are preparing for a chemical or a nuclear attack. The impending threat of the World War III. The trigger, a decision taken in the Oval Office by the outgoing US President Joe Biden, who wants to leave a legacy behind before Donald Trump takes over. So is this a hasty step taken out of desperation, or a calculated move to bring Russia on the negotiation table? Not much can be said now, but it will certainly raise the stakes and risks in the ongoing war. The US President has finally agreed to Ukraine's long-held demand to allow Kyiv to strike deeper into Russia using long-range missiles. And now Biden has given a go-ahead to the war-torn country to use US-made ATACMS missiles. The decision may hold the power to turn the tide of the war in Ukraine's favor. So what are these missiles and how much power do they hold? The ATACMS, or Army Tactical Missile System, is a surface-to-surface ballistic missile capable of hitting targets accurately. It is their range and precision that makes them significant for Ukraine. But by the defense manufacturer Lockheed Martin, these missiles can strike targets up to 300 kilometers away. They can be fired from either tracked M270 multiple launch rocket system or the wheeled M142 high mobility artillery rocket system. Each missile costs around $1.5 million and they are fueled by solid rocket propellant. Now another interesting feature is that they follow a ballistic path into the atmosphere before they come back down at a high speed and high angle. This makes these missiles difficult to intercept. So the missiles which were first used in the Gulf War of 1991 can now be used to strike targets, Russian weapons and ammunition depots, supply lines and military bases. These missiles will also give a boost to Ukrainian troops when Russia has been gaining ground in the country's east. The decision could also create ripple effects, further enabling UK and France to grant Ukraine permission to use Storm Shadow missiles inside Russia. Now Ukraine has been using these missiles on Russian targets for over a year now. However, until now, American ammunition and hardware have not been used inside Russia. In a way, the step is also a response to the involvement of North Korean troops in the war. Russia, without mincing words, has made it clear the decision is not acceptable, while warning that it could lead to another world war, as Kremlin sees the step as direct involvement of NATO countries in its war against Ukraine. Moscow says any conventional attack aided by a nuclear power could be considered to be a joint attack on Russia, which will invite a proportionate response. The Russian president has also changed the country's nuclear doctrine for the same. This has raised fears of a nuclear war. Moreover, the decision comes at a crucial time. Ukraine controls about 650 square kilometers of territory in Kursk and has been making gains, while Russia controls more than 110,000 square kilometers of Ukraine according to open source maps. Kremlin has been mounting attacks on Ukraine's power infrastructure and even residential areas as it prepares to launch a winter offensive. So in the words of Moscow, Washington is throwing oil on the fire. So certainly, the scope of conflict has escalated. But the question remains, will the West provide Ukraine with enough missiles to turn the tide of war and bring Russia to the negotiation table? Or will this rather symbolic move emerge Russia to take a step no one wishes to see the outcome of? Another world war with China, Russia, Iran and North Korea on one side and the West, its allies, on the other side. A lot depends on how two people decide to act. The incoming US President Donald Trump and the Russian President Vladimir Putin. Bureau Report, India Today Global.